Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a Nike store for all of your city building needs. In this tutorial, not only will I show you how to make the outside of the store, I will also show you how to make the entire inside of the store as well. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you are new around here, please do remember to subscribe to the channel, and even if you're not new, please make sure that you have clicked that little bell next to the subscription button, and then you'll get all of my videos sent directly to your sub box. But without any further ado, just do it. So just before we begin building, everybody, here are all of the materials that you will need to make your Nike store. Please do make sure that you have access to all of those materials and enough of them as well. The amount of space required to make the store is a 28 by 31 block area on the floor that is represented by the white concrete rectangular squarish shape on the ground. Please do feel free to make this grid in your world if you do feel as though it will help you out. And by the way, that grid also does include a little bit of parking space on the front of the build as well, so do bear that in mind. And that's it. Pause the video if you have to. Do make sure that you have all that stuff. Make sure that you've got enough room to make it. Make sure that you're ready to make yourself a pretty awesome store. Once you are ready, we can begin. Step 1, my city building friends. Come all the way over to the front left hand corner of your grid. If you've made it. If you haven't, it's no big deal. Just bear with us one moment. From this corner, count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the starting position. Begin by placing a white concrete block on the ground. Place one behind it, and then place white concrete to the right of each of the blocks. Now that you have created this square, I want you to take the back right hand corner of the square and place 7 black stained glass pane going right of the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Place a white concrete block on the end with a black concrete in front. Extend the black concrete block upwards by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Extend to the right by 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And extend all the way down to the ground. Like this. Take the block that hit the ground and place a white concrete behind it, and then place 7 glass pane going right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Stick a white concrete block on the end, extend it forwards, and take each block and extend it right. Like this. I want you to extend the white concrete block that is joined together using the glass pane backwards by 19 white concrete blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I then want you to place 2 more. 1, 2. And extend those 2 blocks to the left by 1 row like this. I want you to do a similar thing on the opposite side of the build. This doesn't require any counting, however, just use the opposite side to measure. We want to take the block that is connected together using black stained glass pane, extend it all the way backwards, the same amount of distance that the other one is, and flare the back 2 blocks out to the right. You want to take the inner corner of the squares we have created and join them together, left to right across the back of the build like this, and you will have a pretty nice outline for your Nike store. The next thing that we are going to do is build up some of the walls. We'll do this by starting with the corners. Each one of the 4 corners want to be raised up by 5 rows of white concrete. So the 2x2 squares, you want to do this to them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that. That is as high as all of the corners are. So you want to do that, except all the way across all of the corners. And this is what the build will look like once you have raised up each one of the 4 corner pillars by 5 rows of white concrete. But it doesn't stop there. You see, we want to go to each one of these 3 long walls we have created, and we want to raise them upwards, each by 1, 2, 3, 4. They simply want to be 1 row shorter than the pillars that we have created, so you can imagine that that row there has to be extended between all pillars. And that's what the build will look like once you have raised up all of the walls. But wait! There's more! The next thing that we are going to have to do, and this just involves us grabbing our old pal, the quartz slabs. We want to add a row of quartz slabs above the wall that we have created, and you want to leave half a row's gap. So just above the wall, half a row's gap, add a row of quartz slabs. Now this serves 2 purposes. Number 1, makes the build look a little bit more modern because this is a modern building technique, and it also just makes the build a little bit more varied in the fact that it's a different colour as well. I know it's still white, but it's a different variety, so you can even extend the quartz slabs inwards and join the entrance diagonally. So you can have it join the black concrete entrance diagonally like this, which is perfect. It makes the build look really cool. I'm going to just chuck away the quartz slabs for a second. I'm going to grab the black stained glass block because we're going to need it again. We have to create the entrance sign. So to do that, we need to place some white concrete block inside of the entrance at the top. And the white concrete block wants to be extended down by about 3 or so rows, like 1, 2, 3. About 3 rows down like this. And the white concrete wants to span the width of this area. So it's going to be a big white rectangular shape like this, just inside of this area. Perfect. What we're now going to do is place the Nike tick. So if we start from the top left hand corner of this area and we move downwards diagonally to the right by 1, and place a sideways acacia stair, an upside down one underneath it, an acacia plank to the right. Take that plank, take the upper part and go right, up, right, up, right, up, right. And that is the tick, right in the middle of the sign, which looks great. The next thing that we're just going to do here is we are going to take the 2 white concretes that are touching the glass. We're just going to raise up these white concretes all the way up to meet the white concretes of the sign, like this. And we're going to place a row of black stained glass block behind the inside of the white concrete shape that we have created. So it's just set 1 row further back like this. You can take these 2 middle glass blocks and join them down to the ground. You can place black stained glass pane on the inside of the 2 empty spaces to limit the doorway. And you can place some oak fence along the middle of the glass blocks like that, and then you'll have a pretty nice looking entrance. So now that you have your entrance, ladies and gentlemen, what we can do is we can just get rid of the acacia blocks, because I don't think we even need them again ever. And we're going to grab the quartz stairs and the quartz slabs, which we will need. We want to tackle the window areas. We've got one on the left and one on the right, and they are identical. We want to begin by taking the windows, the glass panes, and we want to raise them up by 3 rows. 1, 2, 3. And you want to stick a grey concrete on top of the glass pane. So you want to then extend the concrete across, and you want to extend all of the glass across as well. And this is going to make one of the display windows. So as people are walking along, they're going to see what is inside of the store a little bit. So now that you've made the window area, I want you to leave a gap of 3 in the ground. So 1, 2, 3. This 4th block, I want you to place an orange concrete, and the orange concrete wants to extend across the width of the window. So gap of 3 between the window and this row of orange. The orange wants to be raised up as high as the white concrete area that is basically the wall, like this. Additionally, we are going to place a white concrete row around the orange, and then this is going to make it so that the inside of the store doesn't have a weird orange wall in the middle of nowhere. That's basically why we're wrapping some white concrete around the orange, although we might change the colour of it a little bit later on. So now that you've done that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to add another row of white concrete just around the inside of this entrance area, so just all around this glass block here, just to make it look a little bit better. And we're also going to just join it together in the ground like this, so we've kind of created a sectioned off area. We're going to dig out all of this grass here where we have the display window, so the grass is going to be dug out. We're going to place white concrete underneath the glass, and we're going to place grey concrete everywhere else. So it's going to look a little something like that, and that'll look really good from the outside. We even want to make a Nike tick, so we're going to start all the way up at the top left hand corner of the orange concrete empty space. Going to go right one and down by 1 and 2. Place a sideways quartz stair, an upside down one underneath, facing the same way. Solid quartz block to the right, and then we take the quartz block and we place a slab and we go right, up, right, just like that. And from the outside, it's way better to look at it from the outside. From the outside, you will have this. Now, doesn't that look fantastic? Perfect. Now that you've created that, ladies and gentlemen, that's on the left. We want to do the same thing on the right over here, don't we? Of course we do. So that means that we've got to take the glass pane row. We've got to add 3 rows on top. That'll be 1, 2, 3. You stick a row of grey concrete on top and across, and then you join everything together, just like this. And if you wanted to, you could even make it 2 different colours. You don't have to have orange here, although I was looking at a lot of stores for this. It's a lot of white, black, grey, orange, so that's why I chose these colours in the first place. You want to leave a gap of 3 between the window, 1, 2, 3, and then the row of orange concrete that spans the width of the window. The orange concrete is going to rise as high as the white concrete to the left of us, which is the wall. We're going to create a white concrete frame to house the orange concrete area that we are creating here. Perfect. Just like that. That looks good, doesn't it? Perfect. And then we just have to separate the 2 areas, the main store and this display window, and then we can dig out the display window as well. And we're going to make it so that underneath the grass for the window area, we're going to have white concrete, and everywhere else we're going to have grey concrete like this. Perfect. And we also want the tick, and the tick starts on the same side, so I know that it's not mirrored, it's the same tick. So we take the top left hand corner of the orange concrete, we move down, we move to the right one, down 2, sideways quartz stair, upside down underneath, solid quartz block to the right, take the upper half and we go right, up, just like that. And you'll know whether it's right when you look through the window. Aha! Perfection, ladies and gentlemen, perfection. So now that we have done that, I do believe it's time to clean up the roof and maybe the rest of the outside, and then believe it or not, we can actually move to the inside a bit. So let's take a look at the roof first of all, because we want to make a cool looking roof, don't we? So first of all, I reckon what we're going to do is we're going to take the white concrete that's behind the orange concrete and we're going to dig out the white and we're going to replace it with black, because I think it will make the roof look a little bit cooler. I like black and orange a lot as well. Like, it's a really cool color combination. So says me. Like this. And then we can take the back corner of the sign here, right? And we can extend the 2 back corners of the sign backwards, and we can join it down to just next to the orange parts, and we can extend it across. It doesn't really matter how far back you extend the sign, but you just want to extend it back to, say, like this area, or maybe even this area. Maybe it would look better if we did just extend it back a little bit further to maybe here. That might actually look a little bit better. We want to fill the sides of the sign in. With white concrete, and the white concrete can just sit on the actual sides of the sign. It doesn't have to be like inlaid into the sign. Oh, I guess we've just got to place a little bit more black concrete here. It doesn't have to actually like have any sort of depth or anything like that. I think that the store looks cool enough without us having to add loads of unnecessary, insane depth. So something like that would look really good, and then we can just fill the top in. You can give the top depth if you like. It doesn't really matter. I don't think anybody's going to be like coming up here anytime soon. Just like that. So that's looking really, really good. All we're going to do now is we are going to separate, I think, we're going to separate the store into a couple of different parts. So basically, where this black concrete here joins down from the sign, we're going to run rows of black concrete here all the way to the back of the build, and we're going to run it from here all the way to the back of the build like this. So we're kind of like dividing the store up, so to speak, in a little bit of a way. And then we can place rows of black concrete that kind of go around and sit inside like this, and they can sit inside of the big white area, and it'll actually divide the store up quite nicely. Like if you take a look from the top, that actually looks really cool, doesn't it? So all we've got to do from here, ladies and gentlemen, is we take our black stained glass block and we just fill all these areas in. So like just above these display windows, we're just going to add a little bit of black glass. Above here, we'll add in black glass, and we'll take this entire area here, fill it in with black glass, and this one as well. So just to give you a bit of a visual representation, all of this shall be filled in with glass, which of course, well, I'm going to kind of do that right now, aren't I? So this is what your roof will look like once you have filled it in with all of the glass, and I think that happens to look really cool. And bonus, we don't really have to install many lights around the inside of the build now. So you can fill that in with like black or white concrete if you like, but I like the idea of having like a really cool modern glass roof, but that's just me. So now that we've kind of like built the entire store, we're just going to work out a little bit of the outside. So to make the outside, it's actually quite easy, and I'm getting rid of one of the two materials that we actually need. So to make the outside of the store, first of all, I want to create a smooth stone path that just sits in front of the store. So I want a 2-row of smooth stone that just sits in front of the store like this, and this is just going to get filled up all the way up to the door, and then we'll do something else with the door a little bit later. What I also want to do is I want to create some parking spots. So these parking spots are going to of course be in front of the 2 rows. They're going to start on the left and right of the store. We're going to have a white concrete row that is coincidentally like right here, but the white concrete row is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows long. And then we're going to have a row of 4 grey concrete, 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. And then we're going to have another row of white concrete, like so. And then we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 grey concrete, like this. Just so that I can kind of like show you guys the outline of this, because this is what I want to have. So I want to have like 2 car parking spaces on the left, and then on the right, same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we've got a row of white separating them. This is hard because the grid's white as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. And then some smooth stone. So just to give you guys a bit of a visual representation, you can kind of see what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to knock out all the I'm going to knock out all the grass. I'm going to fill that in with smooth stone. There's big space in between, and then we've got 2 car parking spaces on the left and right side of the build. And once that has all been done, ladies and gentlemen, it will look a little something like. And this is what the front of your store will look like if you do choose to add a couple of car parking spaces. I do say choose because it does depend on, of course, where you're building this within your city, so do use your own discretion when doing the little front of the build right there. So now that is all done, ladies and gentlemen, the next thing that we're going to do is turn our attention to the inside of the store. So the inside of the store actually needs quite a bit of renovation here. We have to first of all look at digging up the entire floor. So I do mean literally, like, all of this grass right here has to be dug up. I'm going to be replacing it with oak planks, and then maybe I'll add a couple of different flooring materials here and there, but I'm going to start with a base of oak planks, and then we can work our way from there. So I'm going to dig out all the floor, replace it with oak. So this is what the entire area will look like once it is just been completely refloored in the oak planks. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a nice big blank canvas that we can just fill in. This is the inside of our store. The first things that we're going to be grabbing is white concrete, black concrete, quartz stairs, quartz slabs, block of quartz grey concrete, weighted pressure plates, iron bars, and light stained glass pane. So the first thing that I want to do in here is I just want to tidy up this entrance area a little bit. So I'm going to add a little bit of white concrete above where the display windows are and just on the sides of the glass here. And I'm going to take the white concrete just above the entrance and I'm going to extend it all the way back to about here. So that looks quite good. It might even look a little bit better if we place some black concrete that kind of accents this area a little bit better as well. So kind of a little bit like that. And I am noticing if we do actually take the white concrete of the sign and we extend it down, that will look even cleaner. So I think that actually looks a little bit better than what we had previously. So that's all nice and clean. That looks really good now. So as you walk in the entrance, I want there to be like a set of display mannequins, if you will. So I'm going to leave a gap of 3 between where we just placed this black concrete, like I'm going to leave a gap of 3. And on this 4th row, I want to place a row of black concrete that is kind of, it's not quite equal in length to the entrance. Maybe we'll knock like a block off, like here. But we kind of want to leave like a gap of 3 and then just have like a row of, say, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 black concrete just in the middle. I think that'll look quite good. And the purpose of this, we're going to raise it up a couple of rows, literally a couple, so probably about 2 rows. We're going to place some quartz stairs on the end here and then say maybe like, I don't know, 3 rows of block of quartz, stick a quartz stair on the end, extend that quartz stair forwards, put a block of quartz here, and then that makes kind of like a cool little display area. We'll be adding some mannequins and stuff to that a little bit later on. Now that we've done that, I want you to come to the back right hand corner of the store. So the back right hand corner of the store, we want to leave a gap of 3 in the corner coming across like 1, 2, 3. We're going to place grey concrete and extend it to the right by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Going to leave a gap of 1 and join it to the wall using some grey concrete like this. And we're going to place some tills here. This is a till area, so probably like a quartz stair, weighted pressure plate, then leave a gap, quartz stair, weighted pressure plate, gap, quartz stair, weighted pressure plate. So just a set of tills, very basic. Along this back wall, we're going to have like returns and clothes and that sort of stuff. So we're going to have a long row of quartz slabs just running across the back of the till. You want to leave a gap of 2 from the ground here, and you just want to place some iron bars. And you're going to want to leave a gap of 2 between each iron bar. So from the left side, we're going to leave a gap, iron bar, and then a gap of 2, iron bar, gap of 2, iron bar. And we're going to hang some clothes off of these. So we'll be using banners for that a little bit later. Now that we have done that, ladies and gentlemen, we have this little area to tackle. And I'm kind of thinking about using the orange that we have here. I'm thinking about using it here because I think it'd be kind of cool if we did have a little bit of like, almost like, it's kind of like a dug in area like this. I think that it'd be really cool if we took this. And if we, what can I get rid of for a second, just so that I can replace that floor because it's driving me crazy. There we go. I think it's kind of cool if that's got a little bit of depth to it. And then we can just run rows of, say, like quartz slabs across from the black concrete. Make sure that we've got a whole row and then like another row. And that makes like quite a cool shelving area. And then here you can create a couple of spots for mannequins, so you can have, say, like a black concrete here and like a black concrete there, and then you can put some armor stands on there promoting some of the clothes. You could even, if you wanted to, by the way, you could even have a window. Like you could have, like if you want to create more windows in the build, you could just have like, say, like a window here, equidistant from the counter space and this display area. So that's looking pretty good if you ask me. we're going to come all the way over to the opposite side of the store here. And I'm thinking, honestly, I'm thinking about doing the same sort of thing. So like what we've done here, I would quite like it if we did have the same sort of deal. Originally, I didn't quite like the idea of having the orange, but I think it will really make the area pop. And let's just create the same set of shelves. So a whole block you want to have a whole block for display, and you want to be able to place stuff on these shelves. I think that looks really cool. You can even create like a rack here along this side if you wanted to. So like from here you could just create like a separate rack for clothes. So I mean, I don't know. What you could even do is perhaps like add another row of black concrete in here, right? So they're just in this corner. And then I'm gonna grab, say, like iron trap doors. Where'd that go? Or like iron trap doors. And I want to have 2 block space, and I want to have a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 iron trap doors. And I reckon I'm gonna use, instead of the grey concrete, I think black would be better actually. And then I'm just gonna kind of keep this area separate. And then we can have the same sort of thing that we have up at the till area here. So like this is going to be a clothes rack, like a banner will be hung here. And then we need like a gap of, you only need like a gap of 1 actually. You could get a lot more clothes in that way. You only need, say, like a gap of 1, and we can hang some clothes off there, some item frames, and maybe even some paintings or something like that. So this area is going to be all shoes, and we're going to basically place a row of black concrete here, stemming down from the corner. And then how big of a space do we want to have? So let's add some shelves in here. Do you know what would actually make cool shelves? Since this is kind of like a bit boring, let's use some acacia slabs as shelves. So like here, and then we'll have another row of like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 acacia shelves, and then we'll stick the black concrete on the end, and that'd actually be really cool. So like here, and then we want to have a whole row. And this is just going to be like a shoe area, just this entire part right here. And then that leaves, so we're basically, by the way, I know that it looks as though we're not doing too much, but we're really figuring out what parts of the store are going to do what. So it's quite important to like lay down the foundation for what we're going to be doing before we start adding loads and loads of decoration. So when it comes to shoe trying on areas, I always find, oddly enough, that it's got like almost like a different sort of flooring. So I almost kind of want to separate the floor a bit. So maybe with like a row of black concrete joining these 2 corners together, right? And then maybe we can like fill the middle of this in using white concrete. I think that might actually look cool. I don't know, it might look stupid, so you don't have to do this at all, but I like the idea of having like a different area and changing up the floor a little bit. I'm actually going to be changing up the floor near the cashiers a little bit, and I'm thinking about maybe messing about with the floor where the entrance is, but I'm not quite sure. I think that really makes this area stand out. And then you can put like a couple of seats for like people to just like try on shoes, and maybe like you can stick some weighted pressure plates on there, and like people can sit down and try their shoes on, and or trainers, or you know, whatever it is people are trying on. So now that we've done that, ladies and gentlemen, I know that this is weird that we're swinging back to this area. This is the till area, as I mentioned. I want to create like a line where you will wait. So it's going to be like 2 rows. And I'm going to make the waiting area where you're being served orange concrete, just to make it a little bit obvious. And I'm going to extend these 2 blocks here just on the end. I'm going to place black concrete in the ground. And I'm going to place some... Where's my... There we go. Some black stained glass paint. So this is kind of like where you're going to be getting served, right? And I might even make the area behind here just white too. Yeah, I think I'm just going to make the floor either white or orange. Probably white, because I don't want orange to be too overpowering. I quite like the white concrete. It's very versatile. It looks good in quite a lot of situations. I could use black, but it's just a little bit too dark, I think, for that particular purpose. So that's that area mapped out. That kind of leaves this no man's land here, right? Well, that isn't exactly true. So this area here, we're going to take the width of this black concrete kind of like board that we've created, and we're just going to make some stands. So these stands are going to have clothes on, they're all racks, or you know, whatever you might want to call them. we're going to have rows of, and they don't really have to like be planned out that well. We're just going to have rows of like oak fence with iron bars on top, and we're going to hang all sorts of banners off them, all different colors. So we're not going to do this right now because it will require too much stuff, but that's what we're going to do there. And then we're going to have like more display mannequins. So maybe we use 3 different colors. So like we'll just have a load of mannequins on each one of these colored concretes. And now that it's done, ladies and gentlemen, the last little thing that I kind of wanted to... Would it be cool to kind of like split up this area too? Or would that look a little bit goofy? Would it look a little bit goofy if I like connected this part here and kind of like... Okay, we're going to try it. So if we just place a row of black concrete and then we dig out this entire floor and make it white, it's either going to look goofy or it's going to look sort of cool. I don't know which it's going to be. I also want to mess about with the entrance a little bit too. So I don't know whether, I don't know how to do that. I'm using block of quartz. Mistake number 1. So I want to kind of mess about with the entrance a little bit, but I'm not 100% sure how I'll go about doing it. I could just add a sort of rug looking shape to the entrance, but basically the floor I think looks quite cool if it's kind of like separated. I don't actually mind that at all. I think that looks kind of cool actually. Maybe we can make the width of this area here, maybe we can just make the entrance orange like this. I think that this would actually look cool. So we've still got kind of like the warm oak, but we've got a little bit of orange concrete in here too. So I think that this will look quite cool actually. So yeah, we've got a nice little bit of orange here, we've got a bit of warm oak, and then we've got a little bit of white. It just makes the store look a little bit more colourful, a little bit more vibrant. I really like that. So now, ladies and gentlemen, now that we've done all that, the next sort of thing that we've got to do is we've got to say like hang a load of, we need a load of armor stands, we need like item frames, we need like paintings, we're going to need some sea lanterns, and we might even need some like black stained glass paint and some like chests and stuff as well. So I'm going to kind of work my way forward from the front of the entrance all the way to the back. So I did mention that the display window here has a load of mannequins in them. So there's going to be a mannequin every other block in this display window, and I'm going to have a sea lantern underneath each one of these armor stands. And from the outside, you're going to have something which should look like that. So they're right at the front of the window, and you can clothe them if you like as well. So we have those there. And I might clothe them in a little bit, so like here, here, and here, but that's quite a timely process, so that's something that I do a little bit later on, of course. So just a load of mannequins, and it just makes the display windows look a lot cooler. There we go, doesn't that look awesome? And we want to have a couple here, so like maybe one here and here. And I like the idea of having, say, like the picture, you know how there's always like pictures of like models and stuff, like next to the mannequins, like, oh, this is what I'm wearing and this is what you'll look like if you buy these clothes. That's kind of like what we've got going on here as well. So he looks pretty good. So something like this actually looks quite cool for a display, I think. And you can have this sort of thing like everywhere. So like, for instance, like if you wanted to have a couple of pictures like across this back wall, like you could do that. I'm specifically looking for the human looking paintings, by the way. The 1x2s pretty much. So I'd like you know, something like this. I think looks okay. Maybe not that many of them, you know, maybe we're going a little bit overboard, but there's so many pictures of like models and stuff, like it doesn't even look that strange. Like that's the outfits that you're buying. We could even destroy this middle one and place a window back here. That's completely valid as well. I just want to give you guys options, pretty much. I just want to give you guys options. So as I mentioned, we have a lot of mannequins about the place. Wherever we have placed just these straight up like concrete blocks on the ground without the pressure plates, we pretty much want mannequins. All of those have to be clothed. Above where we have these clothes, you're probably going to want to place, say, maybe like, you could even have more paintings up here, you know, they could be something as well. We can also have like, so where we have the shelves, we want to populate these with like chests and then item frames. So like chests and item frames. So this is where you're going to want to keep the things that you're buying, you know, like this. That's kind of like the sort of vibe that we want going on here. So here, and then we'll have the same thing here as well. We want to have like the chests and the item frames. These will have things hanging off them, but there's no reason that you can't have, say, like paintings and stuff up here, or you can have just like basically advertisements for what's going on the rails. And you know, we can have a similar thing here. So chests, basically like this. Probably don't need those there, so we'll just have them like every other. And I know it looks a little bit weird now, right? I know it looks a little bit strange, but this is kind of like what we've got going on. And now already the store looks a lot fuller, doesn't it? Like it looks a lot better, it looks a lot fuller. But we're not quite done. So what we're going to be doing to these item frames, and I want you guys to imagine that there's different materials here, like we're using different colors of things, and we're using different armor and stuff like that, right? But the idea here, like, is say like with these clothes racks, like you're going to want to hang different colored banners off of these racks like this, so they'll look like clothes. And like this might be like a hat area, so this is all going to be like hats, or it'll be like a trouser. Like, you guys get the idea. So you want to fill up all of the item frames, you want to put clothes on the mannequins, you want to put clothes on these racks and rails. And once you've done all that, let me show you what that'll look like, because I think that we can make it look really cool. I'll show you. So this is what your store will look like once you have fully completed it. Now, this means that you have filled all of your mannequins with either whole outfits or perhaps just certain things that are on sale in the store. That means that you've filled all of the item frames, so like perhaps this is like a shirt section, this is like a pants/trouser section, or whatever you want to call it. This is like a shoe section. We have clothes hanging off of the rails in the form of banners. We have all of our mannequins have something on them. This is what the entire inside of the store will look like. It will be a lot more colorful. It will look a lot more interesting once all of that has been applied. And let's not forget the display windows as well will look a lot better if they have a splash of color and some outfits on the mannequins too. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please do remember to subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and click that little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get all of my videos sent directly to your sub box. Not only that, if you would like to make any more city builds that I have built in the past, check out the card system, description below, and the top of the comment section for all of my other city related builds. We've built some really cool stuff on the channel. I think that you guys would love to check it out. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I love you all very, very much. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!